Hello, friends. Before I answer Aaron's question, I want to talk give a little bit of an update on my life. So I'm in the Dominican Republic. I'm staying in an Airbnb while I'm doing research. We started off in like a mission, so kind of low resource, only allowed to use air conditioning at a certain time. Lots of mosquitoes on the edge of the city, so slightly rural. And then because that place is going to fill up soon, we transitioned to a somewhat nicer place. One of the more nicer places I've ever stayed. But I'm working on two research projects. One of them being infant sleep. So you've heard of SIDS probably, and maybe how you're supposed to sleep babies on their back so that way they don't die. So people don't seem to know that here. And that's probably part of the reason why so many babies die young compared to other countries is people are just putting babies, like, are being told you need to sleep your baby on their side or even face down. And that is a risk factor for SIDS. So we're researching that a little bit. And we're also researching, kind of helping with preeclampsia talleres workshops. So one local doctor is teaching people how to treat preeclampsia effectively to reduce complications for the mother and child, and I'm looking at the efficacy of those trainings. I'm not super worried about time wasters while I'm doing research here, because I have a lot of free time compared to in medical school, and for logistical reasons, it's kind of hard to do research in the afternoons. Attending physicians are required by law to do a little bit of service in the public system during the mornings, but in the afternoons they go to the private setting where they make a little bit more money, and where the only patients are people who can afford services. So for that reason, there aren't a lot of patients in the afternoons. There's not a lot of people to give surveys to. But I do have maybe not enough free time to waste when I'm at school. And my biggest time wasters probably shouldn't surprise you: Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, podcasts, Dominion Online. But I have found a couple tricks to not completely deprive myself of those resources, like those entertainments, but also to limit myself. Let me show you what I mean. So when I open my browser, it looks like this. You'll notice I don't have Facebook or Reddit or Dominion Online in my bookmarks. I have a couple important extensions: DuckDuckGo, which you know about, these two, which make my lectures go faster if my lectures speak slowly, Newsfeed Eradicator for Facebook, Distraction-Free YouTube, and Simple Blocker, and whatever that is. So if I want to go to Facebook, I have to actually type it in. This is my newsfeed. It's an inspirational quote. I have no other newsfeed. I can still go to any other page that I need to go to, though. I have a link to YouTube. That way I don't go to the home page. I go to a page where I've already watched most of the videos. And then if I want to go to a different video, I just type in the search bar. And I like healthcare triage. But you'll notice there's no suggested videos. That's what the distraction-free YouTube video add-on does. And you can see here that if I go to the YouTube homepage, then everything is very distracting. Okay, so the other thing I want to show you is how Simple Blocker works. So I type in Reddit, I get blocked. I type in Dominion Games, I get blocked. And the way that I can unblock that, if I need to, because sometimes I like to go to Reddit or Dominion, is I have to go to the password. To do that, I have to go to a folder that has a folder, and it's in a folder, in a folder, in a folder,
in a folder, in a folder, in a folder, in a Word document. I should probably change the name of that Word document. And then I have to hit Control F and type in one letter that I know is in the password, because this document is many pages long. Copy the password, paste it, and then I can turn it off. And you can see there's a couple other options there for it too. And then there's other options for blocking things on your phone that you can use if you want to. And you can turn those on and off as needed.
Right, and the part I forgot, the question, because it's my turn for that. So if you had 100 scientists or other kind of researcher and $10 million to pay for whatever costs, like paying for people to participate in a survey or paying for access to certain archives, with those resources you can do any investigation, what would your research question be? Mine would be, what is causing the rise in depression and suicide? That is a complete mystery. The United States has an obscenely high rate of suicide, higher than it was in the past, higher than it is in other countries, and nobody knows why. People have different theories. I've come up with a list of half a dozen hypotheses, all of which sound reasonable, and maybe it's some of each. But maybe it's social media, maybe it's a direct cause of high socioeconomic status, maybe it's technology in general, maybe it's a lack of exercise, maybe there's something in the water. I have no idea, but I'd really like to know. I'm extremely curious about it. So if I had access to immense research materials, I would research what is causing that. Yeah.